I don't know if you've seen all my old videos, like from the 1950s, from the 1930s, 1940s, but I found another video from 1948, and it's really interesting because there's a lot of things in it that I haven't seen before. So I hope you will enjoy this video from Philippines in 1948. Ready na kayo? Simula na! Our changing world. Oh, I can hear the national anthem of the Philippines. Pearl of the Orient. I don't think I watched this one before. Directed by William Winter.
On the blue-green China Sea, where modern ships and planes have shrunken the great spans of water in our changing world, lies the finest port of the Far East, Manila, Pearl of the Orient, a pearl floating on a string of more than 7,000 islands which form the Philippines.
Wow, they are actually saying that this is the best harbor in the Orient, which is absolutely true because of the way Manila Bay is. You know, it's very covered and you can easily have access. It's a deep water harbor as well, so it's an amazing harbor. It's a natural harbor.
One of the main crossroads of the world for commerce and travel between East and West, and because of its strategic value, it was one of the most heavily bombed targets of World War II.
Actually, sobra sad yun talaga kasi sa Second World War, the city of Manila was the second most destroyed city in the entire world. As I mentioned before in some other videos, Warsaw was the only other city that was more devastated from Second World War than Manila. And the worst thing was that it happened within just 2 weeks and hundreds of thousands of people were actually killed in a very short span. It's actually something we very rarely hear about. So it would be great if this could be taught a little bit more in the school when kids are small, not just here in the Philippines, but even in Europe, because I never heard about this until I started reading up on the history of the Philippines.
The new Manila, being rebuilt today, more and more resembles a big American city. People in Manila are much the same as people in any modern metropolis. But Filipinos are many people
Look at her.
from many island provinces. North of Manila, high in the Cordillera Mountains of Luzon, are the primitive homes of the hardy Igorot tribes, hillbillies of the Philippines.
Hillbillies? Did he just call the Igorots hillbillies? Oh my goodness. Well, I guess it was a different time back then in 1948. You know, they were not really that political correct, were they? Okay.
They hunt, fish, and are noted for their handicrafts. Under the new democracy, women as well as men vote and have a voice in national affairs. Not many years ago, they were fierce headhunters, but today they've given up that gentle sport.
I'm happy. I'm happy they've given up that gentle sport of head hunting. Wow, can you imagine if we still had that? For sure, my head would be worth a little bit more with all this white hair. Oh my goodness, I need to get a haircut, no? Pagtapos na yung ECQ haircut na ako.
But today they've given up that gentle sport in favor of the more peaceful make-believe of the warrior dance.
Yeah.
Igorots are among the 500,000 pagans who enjoy freedom of worship in a deeply religious country where less than 10% of the population is non-Christian.
Right.
When an Igorot marries, the groom flaunts his feathered crown and proclaims the traditional marriage vow.
Wow, look at that. Look at the feathers and the beak. Now, that costume actually reminds me a lot about the native Indians in America, or as they're called now, First Nations. Every time I'm in the US or in Canada, I love to go to see the Indian tribes, the native tribes, because they are so nice and they are so friendly and warm. They're very similar actually to Filipinos. And even the costumes are pretty similar.
The bride promises what brides always promise. And then the couple performs a rhythmic ritual to the fire god.
It's so
which
nice.
climaxes 3 days of preparation and festivity.
Oh, really?
Relatives and friends show their approval by joining the dance around the pot of fire to the primitive beat of the gangsas.
So what? Do they still practice this in the north of Luzon, or is this no more? Is this just a show for cultural festivities, or do they actually really live by these standards until now? I'm sure that some of you guys will know, so leave me a comment below. I'd love to go and visit them and show you how it is up there. I just want to know if it's real. I mean, is it genuine the way they live, or do they live like us people, like a modern life, and then just have these traditions that they do from time to time, like on special occasions, or how does it go?
But here is the backbone of the nation, a symbolic portrait of the two things which spell life in the Orient, a family and rice.
Yeah.
Soon the tiny seedling springs into fields
Wow.
of blossoming rice,
Look at that.
which is nature's signal for the family to gather the ripened grain. It's back-breaking work.
Yes, that's hard
Harvest
work.
time brooks no idle hands. These brawny young arms reap long hours.
Oh, even the kid is there. Well, it's also like that in
Caribou or
Europe.
water buffalo pitches in with the family for the threshing. And then the tough husks are pounded in a mortar and broken.
Huh?
In the winnowing, the husks are carried off by the wind and the heavy rice kernels fall back into the tray.
Right.
It has taken 5 months from the planting of the seed to fill these bags with the family
5
treasure.
months? That's very long. I didn't know it was that long.
The children will enjoy an exciting holiday in the market town. Mother will relax and take her first rest in long months of toil and worry. Father will bring home the necessities of life, and perhaps a few luxuries if it's been a successful season.
So they're going to market to sell the rice that they just harvested. I just can't believe it takes 5 months, huh? I didn't know it was that long. I thought it was just like a few months, So that surprised me. I think I need to dig into how rice is cultivated.
His 20 million countrymen depend on rice as we in America depend on wheat.
Right. The same in Europe is wheat. Wheat and potatoes.
Life and labor of these hard-working people is reflected in their folk music and dances, like this beautiful rice ballet.
Oh, look at that. What is this song? What is this dance called? Does anybody know? Wow, I haven't seen this one before. It's usually always the Tinigling we see, right? Or Kainosa or something like that. But this is new. I haven't seen this. Whoa. Nice. That's nice. Now, these traditional dances are really focused around the harvest, and I believe that most agricultural society actually has some kind of dance like this. Every country is different depending on the time of the year, when the harvest will be brought home. But everybody celebrates it because the harvest is in, the hard labor is done. You got food for the next few months, right? I know every country has this, basically. Now we have it in Vietnam, we have it in Cambodia, Thailand, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. Wherever you go, you will always see these traditional dances celebrating the harvest being brought in.
And the traditional dance ends as the wind sweeps up their rice husks,
Oh, nice.
along with the lilting strains of their tuneful music.
It's nice.
This
I like
is
it.
Leyte, where the wartime
Okay.
Jeep is now a peacetime taxi called a jeepney.
Right.
Believe it or not, there are 1,900 varieties of fish around these islands.
Really?
100 kinds are here for the buyer. Life centers around the marketplace, where gossip is a bigger problem than buying or selling. Fish are so plentiful, customers are hard to get. But
Oh my
not to a
God.
fish fry. The smoke from glowing coconut shells imparts a unique, delicious flavor. However, the favorite delicacy
I
of
like
the
that.
holiday outing is lechon.
Yes.
Barbecued pig stuffed with wild rice and spices.
I love it.
What's this? A poultry show? No, it's a cockfight.
It's a
They're as
cockfight.
popular here as bullfights are in Mexico.
Correct.
Like boxers, their weights are checked before entering the ring. Betting is an important feature of a cockfight.
Yeah, of
The
course it
spurs are
is.
fastened with an expert hand.
Oh, look at that, huh? Wow, that's a big spur, huh? That's dangerous.
Sheaths are attached to avoid bloodshed.
To avoid bloodshed. Wow. See some tourists there in the back looking at it, huh?
Their handlers are ready. And there they go. The red rooster is a 2-to-1 favorite.
He also looks fierce, huh? Yan. That's a real fight, huh? They get up so fast, huh?
The southernmost area, the Sulu Islands, is always a colorful port of call, especially Holo, whose teeming population is usually swelled by visiting islanders like this pearl diver, who is
really?
easily identified by the shape of his hat.
So you can identify them by the shape of the hat. It's a pearl diver. No idea about that. See, I'm learning something new again. That's a great thing. And I also noticed that most of them were actually walking around barefooted. I guess that was just normal at that time. But I know there was chinelas around, so maybe they just feel comfortable.
As we've already learned, Filipinos are many peoples.
Yeah.
These people are Moros. Their religion is Muslim. Unlike their pagan countrymen, the Igorots, Moros have a formal wedding service.
Okay.
The beating of the gangsa, the Moro church bell, ushers in the bridal party. The high priest or imam reads from the sacred Quran.
So this is a wedding, huh?
The groom joins the solemn-faced bride as the priest performs the wedding bond and asks for the blessings of Allah.
Why is he all white in the face?
The painted bridegroom treats his guests to a one-man show.
So it is really painted in the face. It looks very much like in Indonesia, of course. Or Malaysia, no?
But we can't leave these islands without a visit to the pearl divers. Their
Yeah.
houses are built on the water according to the traditions of their ancestors. Pearl diving is a community occupation. Swimming is as natural to these
Look at
people as
all
walking
those
is to us.
Mussels they're getting down there. Or oysters.
When a
What are they?
valuable pearl is found, the whole village shares in its sale.
Really?
It takes little effort to polish a beautiful Moro pearl, but it will
Nice.
take a generation of hard work and national financing to repolish the war-rubbled pearl of the Orient and
That's
restore these ruins to their pre-war magnificence.
Right.
Manila,
right.
the once beautiful capital, which blended the heritage of Asia with the culture and progress of the old and new worlds, will rise again from the shadows of destruction, as it first rose from the wilderness of the jungle. Eager hands are rebuilding. Children will have homes again.
Yes.
Yes, Filipinos are many peoples with 8 distinct languages and 87 dialects. But the stirring music of their national anthem is a symbol of their unity. They work for a common cause, confident of a bright future, for there cannot be a shadow without light. That light is their faith in our changing world.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I did learn a few new things here, especially like the dance. I hadn't seen that before, the rice dance, the harvest dance. I like that. And then, of course, that the pearl divers have a special kind of cone hat. I had no idea about this. Is there anything else that you learned in this video? Because I usually learn something new every time I see these old videos. It's a great thing to know about our past, because this is the thing that will guide us into the future. Know your past. It's very important. Now, I need to ask you a question. Would you like to see me do reactions to other countries, how it was before? Like Denmark, for instance. How was it like 60 years ago, 70 years ago, or even 100 years ago? Because it was so different from what people actually believe. So if you would like me to react to old videos from different countries, please leave me a comment below and tell me which country would you like me to feature. You can learn a lot from these old videos about the culture, the differences in people, and how we are basically all the same. Alright, so guys, as always, thank you so much. Salamat po sa inyo lahat for watching my videos as always, and stay home, stay safe. Thank you again. Bye-bye.